Hi, since this is a comprehensive guide to mining in Dinkum, expect major spoilers. This video is also quite long, so I've put timestamps for easy access. To unlock the deep mines in Dinkum, you'll first need to grab the deep mining license from Fletch. But before that, you'll have to unlock mining license level 1 and level 2, which requires your mining skill to be at level 10. The fast way to level this up early on is by smashing rocks around your island, specifically tin and copper nodes, as well as the large boulders you'll find scattered around. These big rocks are especially worth it because they have a chance to drop iron ore, which you usually won't get outside of the mines. Once you hit level 10 and unlock the deep mining license, Fletch will let you apply for the mine deed. To build it, you'll need to gather these materials and pay 250,000 dinks. That may sound like a lot if you're just starting out, but trust me, it's totally worth it. The mines are packed with valuable crafting materials, ores, and hidden treasures that will speed up your overall progress in a big way. Now that you've got your mine set up, let's go over a few important things to keep in mind before heading underground. A mining pass can be bought from John for 25,000 dinks, so you want to be prepared before going down there. Also, keep in mind that John's shop, along with several other shops, are closed on Sundays. That actually makes Sunday a perfect day to spend in the mines. But that also means you'll need to buy your mining pass in advance. John only sells one mining pass per day, so if you can afford it, stock up on a few ahead of time. You can store it in a chest near your mines. There are currently 3 mine levels: Deep Mines, Undergrove, and Hot. The Deep Mine is the first level you'll gain access to. Just grab a mining pass and head on in. To unlock the second level, the Undergrove, you'll need to collect ruby shards, which you can find in the Deep Mine. Then, once you are ready to venture even deeper, you'll need emerald shards from the Undergrove to access the third level, Hot. Each level comes with new challenges, better rewards, and increasingly difficult enemies. For the next part of the video, I will talk about the general preparation you need to do, and after that, we'll break it down level by level with specific strategies. And finally, we'll wrap things up with some advanced mining tips. Before going down, here are the things I recommend you prepare. First, of course, make sure you have a mining pass. Then, make sure you bring any form of light source since it can get dark down the mines. The cheapest option early on is the wooden torch. You can craft 8 of them using just one mangrove stick, and you'll get light simply by holding one in your hands. You can also place them around to mark your path back to the elevator. My favorite light source is the miner's helmet. It goes in your headgear slot so your hands stay free, and it automatically recharges if you keep Spinifex resin in your backpack. Another option is the handheld torch, which you can buy from John. This one costs 6,000 dinks and it runs on batteries, so it's not ideal early on, especially if you don't have a charging station yet. But it does have a special feature. If you left click while holding it, the beam will focus forward and actually stun animals, which is really helpful when dealing with those annoying bats. Now let's talk gear. At the very least, bring a copper pickaxe and a copper spear, and I suggest bringing a spear of each. You'll need the copper pick to mine iron, which is the main resource you're going for, and the spear will help you deal with the enemies. Don't forget to bring old keys too. You'll find these while metal detecting, and you'll need them to unlock treasure rooms. I recommend bringing at least 10 keys if you're exploring the first level, and more if you're planning to search treasure rooms deeper down. Next, let's talk about food. For early game runs, I recommend cooking meat on a stick, fruit salad, cooked meat, or croco meat. These give a decent mix of health and stamina regeneration and even a bit of defense. You can also buy first aid kits from John. These restore your health instantly and don't take up your food slot, which makes them really handy in tough fights. If you're using them, you can focus your food choices on stamina instead. Some easy stamina options are fried eggs, banana jam, or wattle brew. Then there's the crab soup, which will give you a diligent buff that stops non-power tools from taking durability damage when used. Super useful if you're doing a lot of mining. Now here's a quick safety tip. Don't bring dinks with you. If you pass out in the mines, you will lose some of your money. You don't even need to deposit it in the bank. You can just place it in a storage box before heading down. And if you forget, you can actually drag the money out of your money slot and put it in your backpack instead. That will still protect it, though it does take up an inventory slot. Speaking of inventory, there's a great trick to expand your carry space. Huge thanks to Hypnos since I learned this trick from his video. You can bring a storage box into the mines using a hand trolley. Just leave it near the elevator and you can stash overflow items whenever your backpack fills up. I especially use this for treasure room runs. Because of that, I recommend keeping 2 storage boxes by your mine entrance, one for your usual mining gear and one empty box to bring with you. And finally, here's something new from the 1.0 update. NPCs can now revive you if you pass out. So, if you have a villager you're close to, ask them to come along. Just make sure to give them some mining equipment and weapons so they can actually help out. Unfortunately, NPC companions can't follow you to the 3rd mine level, but they are helpful on the first 2. Now that you are all set and ready, let's talk about what to actually do once you're down in the mines. First, keep an eye out for rooms with locked doors. These often hide treasure chests or valuable gemstones. If you're unsure what's inside, switch to the overhead view and pan your camera around before using one of your old keys. This way, you'll avoid wasting keys on empty rooms. Or worse, rooms with a bush devil waiting to say hello. Sometimes these doors are blocked by walls. You can use your pickaxe to break them down. This also comes in handy if your shortcut back to the elevator is blocked and you need to clear a path. However, keep in mind that breaking these walls consumes a lot of stamina and tool durability, so it's best to use higher tier tools if you can. Another thing you want to collect are gemstones. You can find these scattered around the mines or inside treasure rooms. When you spot one, don't break it completely with your pickaxe. Just carry it straight to the mine elevator and place it in the gem crusher. This will give you 4 shards, which are used to unlock deeper mine levels. If you're trying to save up some dinks instead, keep a few gemstones intact and sell them to John. Since you can only carry 1 gemstone at a time, it's helpful if you can bring a vehicle with you. If you're having trouble loading gemstones onto your bike or boat, try standing at the back of the vehicle while facing it. Look closely, you should see a tiny bit of movement that indicates the gemstone has been loaded correctly. When done right, this method lets you carry an unlimited number of gems on your vehicle. If you don't load it correctly though, the gems will just fall right off when you start moving. Use your map wisely. I like marking dungeons I've already explored with an X. If I leave a gemstone behind, I mark it with a gem icon. And I use a star to highlight spots with narrow paths or sharp turns I might miss on my way back to the mine elevator. And now let's talk about the enemies. As I mentioned, there are a lot of enemies down here, and if you ever need a breather, you can jump on top of big rocks like this one. Enemies won't be able to reach you, but you can still attack them from above. Another technique is to bring fish with you down the mines. You heard that right, fish. Bring a large or medium-sized fish and place it on the mines and it will act like the big rocks. Some attacks, especially the long-ranged ones, can still reach you, so be careful. If you are running low on health, get to a safe area and do the seat emote to regenerate health faster. If you have a hand torch, remember that you can stun enemies so you can escape faster. Since we have a technique to increase our storage in the mines, you can make the most of your stay by also collecting paths, lanterns, fences, and plants that you see. My favorite are these lanterns that can be found in the 2nd level. One final thing, keep an eye on the clock. At 11 PM, the ground will start to shake as a warning, and by midnight, a poisonous fog will fill the mines and start damaging you. If you left some gemstones that you want to take with you, you can first go inside the mine elevator, regenerate your health by sitting and eating food, then hurry back out to get those gemstones one by one. Do this at your own risk since it can be quite dangerous. It might be helpful to have food that increases your maximum health for this, like crocus skewer, garden salad, or cooked primate. Now let's get a bit more specific by looking at each level of the mine separately. In the deep mine, you would have to deal with cave bats, bush devils, and glowing crocos. The glowing crocos sometimes emit a poison around them, so watch out for this. The cave bats might be annoying to deal with, but they can drop bat wings, which you should collect. If you get 20 bat wings, you can offer it to a bat shrine, which randomly spawns to get a bat glider. To deal with bats more easily, use a weapon that hits in an arc, like a flaming bat. You can also use a hand torch to stun a bat, making it easier to hit, or bring a bat zapper that will instantly kill the bats. Treasure rooms on this level are pretty straightforward. You will need 2 old keys to open each one. And on the map, they show up as small gray circles. You can easily see the entrance to the room because it is jutted out like this. Some notable items you want to collect from these rooms are miner's helmet, guitar, bougie board, doggo collar, moose saddle, and a yellow hang glider. For movement, I recommend bringing a motorbike if you have one. It makes hauling gemstones so much easier. A glider is also helpful, especially for quick getaways or navigating tricky spots. Next up is the Undergrove, and this one feels like a jungle maze. The place is overgrown with vines and thick trees, so it really helps to bring an axe and a scythe for easier navigation. Unlike the deep mine, the walls here are made of ancient trees and you will need an axe to chop your way through. You should really prepare with food buffs and proper weapons if you are coming down here because the enemies here are a little tougher. The blooming freelies are fast and in my experience, they almost always seem to bring friends over if they find you. What's worse is that they can give you a sickness debuff which will prevent you from eating for a short amount of time. This is why you should always remember to eat your food before exploring. There are also pincher plants that shoot rocks at you. You might be tempted to run past them, but there's a rare chance they'll drop a plant hammer. It's a cool weapon that causes vines to erupt in a circle around you, damaging and stunning enemies. So you might want to try your luck and defeat some of them. Then we have the grubs. These are quite easy to defeat, but they attack in large numbers and you need to destroy their nest to stop them from constantly spawning. Treasure rooms in the Undergrove are a bit trickier. Some are huge and have multiple entrances, so always check the overhead view before using your old keys. Trust me, it'll save you from wasting them on doors that just leads to the exit or a bunch of angry enemies. In my experience, Undergrove is the best place to go if you want to collect gemstones for money. There are some treasure rooms here that has at least 4 gemstones each. So let's talk about how you can get the most of this level. Of course, it will still depend on your luck since I've encountered some levels with treasure rooms that just have treasure chests and no gems. Anyway, for this method, I highly recommend looking for a glider from the deep mine first. You can also buy it from Jimmy's boat if he already visits your island. You should also bring a boat instead of a motorcycle since the roads are hard to navigate in this level. Once you have a glider, look for a river and glide your way through it, successfully avoiding enemies and the pesky ancient trees that this level is filled with. You should be able to find treasure rooms near the river using this technique. Look at your map from time to time too. If you don't see the room directly, your map might reveal it. Keep an eye out for areas with a solid green patch. Those often indicate a treasure room in that location. After looting some rooms, you can load the gemstones in your boat and use the river to get back as close as possible to the mine entrance. It might be annoying to navigate with all the lily pads, but I found this to be easier than navigating through the dense trees filled with enemies. The loot you should keep an eye on this level are Bottle of Clouds, Diving Helmet, Leaf Glider, and Stone Wand. The third and final level so far is the Hot, which is literally filled with lava, so you don't need a light source in here. And as I mentioned earlier, NPCs will not follow you in this level. Your Bat Zapper and Torch will also not stun the enemies here. You can make pathways by throwing water bottles into the lava, but I highly recommend bringing a glider for this part. Vehicles like the boat or your helicopter will just burn in here. Eating a watermelon popsicle, or ice cream will give you the cool buff, which will lower the amount of time you are on fire. Which, trust me, will happen a lot in this level. The enemies in this level are no joke. You've got flame slimes, yobolins, and yobolin healers. With the flame slimes, you'll want to find and break their spawner to stop the endless wave. A ranged weapon is super helpful here, so you can hit from a safe distance. Then, the yobolins can induce a confused effect which will invert your controls, making it more difficult to run away if you need to. The treasure rooms are huge and crawling with enemies. One trick I like doing here is placing a fish at entrances. It will block enemies, giving you a safe retreat zone if you need to back out and heal. Do note that even if you are on top of fish here, some enemy attacks can still hit you. Keep your glider in an easily accessible slot just in case things go south and you need to fly away fast. You will need to come down to this level eventually. It has some valuable loot I'm still discovering myself, and most importantly, Berconium ore. You will need a ton of it for more advanced crafting later in the game. Honestly though, I still find this level really difficult, and I only go down here if I'm playing with someone in multiplayer. It is best to go here once you have access to better tools and equipment, which we will talk about in the next section. Anyway, those are the 3 levels currently available in the game. Hopefully there will be more, but we already have the Island Reef added to the game, which is another whole area to explore. If you want a guide for that, let me know in the comment section. Alright, let's wrap things up with more tips to make your mining runs a whole lot smoother and more efficient. First up, you can unlock the Wish Fountain Deed from Fletch. This lets you spend 150,000 dinks to make a wish that changes the state of the game. If you choose the Peaceful Wish, it'll stop most animals from attacking you. Just note, it doesn't apply to the grubs and pitcher plants in the Undergrove or any of the enemies in Hot. So yeah, still bring a weapon. As you get further in the game, you'll also gain access to better tools and weapons. Keep an eye out for Ted Sally, who randomly shows up after 3 PM on Saturdays. But heads up, he won't visit if you've made the Peaceful Wish. He crafts some amazing weapons like the Alpha Hammer, which releases shockwaves, the Bat Zapper that instantly zaps bats, and the Blastode, which explodes and stuns enemies. All super useful, especially for the tougher mine levels. It's also worth investing in higher tier tools from Franklin, like the Jackhammer or Chainsaw. These power tools can save you loads of time, and he can even craft bombs that are great for clearing walls or dealing with enemies. I recommend setting up a charging station right near your mine entrance to keep your power tools ready to go. And if you cook and eat a sparking soup, your power tools won't lose durability while it's active, which is awesome. Your power tools can break if you overuse it when it already has low durability, so keep an eye out on that since these tools are not cheap to make. Last tip, if you got the dinks to spare, consider getting a key cycler from Jimmy's boat. It costs 700,000 dinks, so yeah, it's a bit of an investment, but it lets you turn relics into old keys. As you go to the lower levels, you'll find that old keys are used up very quickly. Using a solar panel from Franklin's lab will speed up the processing time of the key cycler. And that's it. If you've got any extra tips you think I should try, definitely drop them in the comments. And check out this next video for more Dinkum tips and tricks.